Yeah, hello, good morning, guys. Hope everybody is fine. You're welcome to my new tutorial today. As I said it in the last tutorial, that our next tutorial is going to be based on the interface, how to become very familiar with the Adobe Photoshop interface. So you first launch your Adobe Photoshop. So when you launch the Adobe Photoshop for the first time, if you're a beginner and it's your first time for launching Adobe Photoshop, I quite remember when I was learning photo, I was learning designing in Photoshop. In fact, I tried a whole lot. I launched the application over and over. When I launch, I see nothing. When I launch, what am I seeing? Then I'll close it. I launch and then I close. I launch and then I close. So I sat down and said that this day, dear, I'll try to do something with it. And in fact, it was so marvelous. So I hope you're going to do the same. Maybe you'll be facing the same thing as I was doing. Launch it and you close, launch it, close, because you don't know what to do. You don't even know where to go. So you first get launch your what application. You get launch your application. So now I've launched it. Mine is current version, Adobe Photoshop 2019 CC. That's the current version that I'm using now. So when you launch it for the first time, this is what you're going to see. This is the first interface you will see when you launch the Adobe Photoshop for the first time. But note it, you might not see all these things. You won't see it, but mine, you're seeing pictures and design and images here and those stuff, because you see, when you see from a recent, the things that I'll be working on it, recently, that's what I'm seeing here. So how you want it, welcome to Photoshop, how you want it to be viewed or display. You note it, you have the grid form and the list form. So here's the grid form. No worry, you prefer to choose the grid one. So this is the grid form, it's in some other image form. So yeah, when you get to the main interface, we'll talk about here too. I've already talked about it the other time, but no worry. So here's what we are going to most work about or deal with. We have the create new tab here. We also have open. So the open, you know it, open is for open an existing existing work. Let's assume you've saved a PSD, that's Photoshop format, Adobe Photoshop format file on it. So you just use open to locate it, then you launch it and start modifying in case of any amendment. So now let's move on. You click on create new. Note the shortcut is still into existing. The shortcut Ctrl+N will give you the access to the next interface, so, or the next pop-up. You click on new. Let's see what will happen. So you wait a bit. If your machine is slow, in fact you will suffer. So now there's an interface of new document. When you want to create new document, this is what you see. When you click on new here, this is what you see. This what will be displayed for you to see. So let's see, at this level, you'll be able to name your file. You set the correct page size and orientation for your document. So here you'll be able to name the file. If you want to name the file here, you will name your file here. So let's name it, let's say, okay, let me talk about here first. After that, then I come here. And your recent items, when you launch it for first time, your recent items is what the actual size that you'll be working on. So by default, and when you launch it for the first time, you will see only default Photoshop size. You won't see this because I've been working on two different sizes attached to this. That's why it has been combined here. That's why three of them are here. But when you launch it for first time, you won't see this, but you will only see the default Photoshop size. Then note it, we have recent, that's the recent saved. So let's say you've saved something on it and your preset or those stuff, you can use the save tab to locate it. So the tabs here is template and preset. It's template and preset. You can see blank document preset, template and preset. So let's assume you are working on photo, you are working on photo, you're editing photo or something like that. By default you have the templates sizes here, default Photoshop sizes here. You have the landscape 2x3, landscape 4x6, you have portrait 2x3, portrait 8x10 and those stuff. So when you're working on photo, I prefer you choose this one. And print, let us assume you want to print something in A4 sheet, legal A3, A5, B3, C4. It depends on the size of the document that you want to print. It depends on the size that you want to print. And the art and illustration, those who normally illustrate, you also choose this one. The templates are here a whole lot. You can take your time and go through it one after the other. And we have web, the web designers, and web designers. When you want to use Photoshop to design something for your web, you choose this tab, web, then you select the preset that you want, the size according to what you are working on. And the mobile app developers, you too, when you want to design something for your app that you are developing for the mobile phone, you also come here and then you choose. Then from video editors too. So now let's move on. So we choose the default Photoshop size, the default Photoshop size. That's what I'll choose, but you can choose any that you want. So here we have the, as I said it, you'll be able to name your file, you correct pages that and orientation for your document as you want it. So here is where you name your file. So let's say Amitech is Amisco, Tech is technology, so Amisco technology, Amitech. So the width and the height, by default we have the width, which is 7, and the height is 5, and the and it's in inches. So let us assume you are working on something and you want to measure so that after that the printing will be easy for you. You can use your ruler, normal ruler, to measure the size. Then you tap it in here, then you type it in here. So inches, I always normally use the pixels and the inches, but I normally prefer using the inches because of at times I use ruler to mark the size of how my design I want it to be. So the orientation, you come, so you see we have the width is 7 and the height. So the orientation is, we have the portrait and landscape. This is the landscape, and here is the portrait, landscape, portrait, landscape. So let us assume you want it to be in a portrait form. Then you click on this. So when you click on this, the size, the height, and the width will be swapped. The size will be swapped. Let's see. Yes, 5, but the 5 will be here. You see, now the 5 is here. And so if you want it to be in a landscape form, then you click this. If you want it to be in a portrait form, then you click this. And the resolution is 300. For the current versions, it's 300. But for the previous version from 2017 downwards is 72. The resolution you see is at 72, but 2018-19 is 300. And then you choose pixels and inches for the resolution. Then the color mode, the web developers, you already know it. When you see RGB is red, green, blue color, good. And note it, when you are designing something for your web, we normally use the RGB, but when you are designing something to be print, you can use the CMYK color. So these are the color mode. We have the bitmap, grayscale, RGB, lab, and others. So I normally prefer using the RGB. By default is RGB, but you can use the CMYK. It depends on what you're working on. And the bit, make sure you choose 8 bit for your design. The background contents, we have white. By default is white, but you can choose it to be black, or if you choose the background color, because the background color here is already white, so when you choose the background color, it still be white for you, but when you choose black, it will be black for you. You see? Now let's choose white. The additional option, leave it like that, don't go there, leave it by default. So now that you are done with the size, the name, the orientation, the resolution, and those stuff, you click on create. Then what am I seeing here? Such a beautiful interface. In fact, I prefer Adobe or their product. They are so good. Now let's move on to the interface layout. The interface layout. Good. I've mentioned it several times because I'm seeing a beautiful interface here. Good. Now my own, maybe you might see something from your own that you will not see it here, something here that you not see it from your own, but it's not a problem because the software allows you to customize your interface how you want it to be. You can create and do stuff. So when you click here, it will be allow you to choose the template or create yours, but let's take it one after the other. I want it to be as your own, same as your own. Okay, I want it to be same as your own. I think that's what you're seeing from your machine, so let's choose that and then move on. Okay, now we have the menu bar. Where is the menu bar? The menu bar, here's the menu bar where you see files, edit, image, layer, tab, select, filter, 3D, view, window, help. Here is the menu bar. So the menu bar contains this these tabs. That's the menu bar. And we have the toolbar. We'll talk about it, the uses of it. We have the toolbar. Here is the toolbar. Most of the major tools are located in the toolbar for easy access. So most of the major tools are located in the toolbar for easy access, and you can access it easily. So most of the tools are here. And you have the image. What is the image? The workspace. Here is the workspace. So let us assume the background, the white background here is the image. So but we've not started yet, so let's talk about this. After that, we work on images and do stuff, pictures. So the image will appear in its own window once you open it. So when you open image for first time, it will rather appear in its own window. So let us assume we have another image here, it will appear. So when you click on it, what you want it, what is going to display. So here is the document name. You see, I gave it name Amitech. I name it Amitech. So the Amitech is the document name. So here's the document name. So if you have another document, you are working on different documents, it will be label. It will be labeled to the accordingly. You can also drag, change, swap, and those stuff. Now let's move on to the palette. So the palette, let's see when you say palette, what does it mean? The palette contains functions that help you to monitor and modify images. So the palette contains functions that helps us to modify and monitor images. Good. By default, palettes are stacked. By default they are in stack. By default the palettes are stacked together in groups. When you say something stack, I don't know how to explain it, but what I would say is when something is stacked, it means normally we say that the thing has been choked. Like it's being combined. These are the palettes that are usually visible. So the palettes that are usually visible, we have the color adjustment and layers. So let's see. Here is one of the palettes. We have the color here. So the color, you can use this format to choose the color that you want. When you start working, you get to know everything. We talk about the swatches and those stuff. So the color adjustment, and layers. Where's the layers? Here's the layers. Here is the layers. So color adjustment and layers. Here is the layers. Here is the layers. So you see, when you drag down, you see here is the what? The layers. When you click on it, it has been what? Sorry, pop up. So here is the layers. Good. So there are a whole lot of settings that you can do it. If some of the what palettes are not visible, if some of them are not visible, you go to the window tab here in the menu bar and choose palette you need. So we have this a palette 3D action adjustment. So when you click on action, or let me choose history, you see the history will be here for you. So anytime you click on it, so any palette when it's not visible, when you come here, then you start what? Check it. You see most are on check, so you just click, then it will be what? Position here for you. Do you get it? Okay, now let's move on to the next one. We are still on palettes. So palettes used for what? Used for more advanced image editing. So palettes are used for more advanced image editing. So under palette we have color swatches star. So the color is here is the color, here is the color, here is the color. So the color help you to choose color for your design, what you are designing. It helps you to choose color. And we have swatches. The swatches to help you to choose foreground or background color for your design. It also help you. You can also customize it. So the swatches too, that's the useful of it. And we have the star. Now you see that your own, maybe you might see the star, but on the star is not here. It's normally located here at adjustment, but let's see. That's why I say that this one you can customize. My own I've customized, so don't worry about the star. You will talk about it when you start editing. So we have the star too. Then you go to history. So the history store and display each actions perform, allowing you jump to any recent. So any action that you perform, the history help you to what? To jump to any recent stage of the image alteration. That's the useful of the history. So you see history, it will rather save it for you. It will allow you to perform and jump it over and over. Then you have the adjustment. As I talk about adjustment is here. So under the adjustment you have so many options here. We have so many symbols and those stuff. So we have brightness. So brightness, we use it to bright images and those stuff. Our design, if you want the contrast to be low, high, the brightness to be low, high, you use the brightness. We have the levels too. When you click on it, you can use it to level your image. Do you want it to be high? You can choose the color for it here and those stuff. And we have exposure. They are all used to bright images and dim, if you want to dim something. So that's what the adjustment. So we have a whole lot of here. When you want to make something in black and white, you can also use this to make it black and white in your design. So that's adjustment. Now let's move on to layer. Layer lets you organize your work into distinct level that can be edited and viewed as individual units. So it helps us to organize our work. Let me say, it helps us to organize our work. That's the function of layer. it's like schooling. It's like schooling. When you start school, you start from the basic level to what? The upper level. So that's how it is. When you want to travel, and you don't just sit at your home and say, I'm traveling. Then by the time you realize that you've gotten to where you say you're going, it's not like that. It's a step that you follow. So things, anything that you do has to be well organized. That's the function of the layer. So the layer help us to what? Organize our work. So we have the layer visibility. The eye show that the selected layer is visible. So let's move on to the layer. Please, I'm changing my workspace. Don't worry about that. It's the same. So I'm moving to photography. Photography. Good. Because I want us to see the layers. That's why. So the layer, when it comes to layer, here's the layer. The layer level, we have the eye. There's the eye. So the eye indicates what? The visibility of the layer. So when you make it like this, let's see, we have the background. When I invisible it, you see that now the background white color is no more there. So it rather what? Shows the visibility of the what? The layer. So you can click on and off to see to or to hide it. And we have layer looking option. We have layer looking option. So the layer looking option, you click on this is a square or rectangle. Let's say square, in a square form icon to look transparency. So the layer looking option, if you want your thing to be transparent and those stuff, we have the opacity, the fill and those stuff. We will talk about everything when we start with the whole work, when we start editing. So that's the layer. So we have layer blending mode, the layer blending mode. We have fill, opacity, as I was talking here. So the blending mode, we have normal, dissolve and those stuff. Here's the layer blending mode, opacity, the fill, the layer mask. The layer mask is here. So the layer mask, when you click on it, you see that the layer mask will be there. So we have the layer sets, and it helps us to organize image with multiple layers. So when you click the icon to create a folder for what? Several layers. So when you come here, I want us to know everything. So we have create new fill or adjustment layer. We have create new group. You can group your layers into one. What? So let's say when we select it like this, we can what? Group it. It becomes one group. Then there will be an arrow if you want it to all the groups, all the layers under the group one to appear. Just click here and then everything will be here. You just hide it. That's how it is. And then you create new layer. When you click on it, the new layer will be created. When you start with everything, you get to know everything. If you have delete, if let us want to delete a group or a layer, just click, or you can press delete on your keyboard for it to be deleted. But you can also use this icon. Then are you sure you want to delete? So also delete, yes, group and content or group only. So if you click delete group only, the group will be deleted, but the layers and it will be there, you see. But group and the content, then everything will be off. That's how it is. Now let's move on to we have layer lock, we have layer option menu, link layers and layer style. We'll talk about everything, so don't worry. I'm just moving on fast because we want to do things fast so that we can start the whole thing. So when you come here is the toolbar. By default you not see it in this form, like my own. You see some at the left and some at the right. By default this arrow, it will be here, you see. But one thing is, when your screen size is small, at times you find it difficult. Some of the tools might be hidden under and you find it difficult, so you use this arrow to what? To display, or in a grid form. It will be, some will be at the left and some will be at the right. So the tools, I talked about it in my last tutorial. So here's the toolbar. Here is the toolbar. So selection tool, we have the selection tool. We have move, McQuay, Lazo, Magic Wine, Crop, and Eyedropper. They are the selection tool. So we have the move here. We have the Lazo. We talked about it yesterday. So I think crop. We have the crop, and we have rectangular McQuay tool and those stuff, and the eyedropper. So they are the selection and Magic Wine. So the selection tool start from here. Let me make it this format. They start from here up to here. Here from move to eyedropper. That's the selection tool. We talk about it in our last tutorial. Yeah. And we have the alteration tool. The alteration tool start from healing brush to blur. Healing brush to blur. So healing brush here, healing brush to what? Blur. Where is the blur? So up to here, healing brush to blur, healing brush to blur. That's what. And we have drawing and selection tool. Drawing and selection tool start from path, where the mouse pointer is path. Then paint is to its part. We have tab to its part. So that's what drawing and selection. And we have additional to the additional to we have the magnifier and what hand, magnifier and hand. That's it, hand and magnifier, that's the rotate viewer. So you see the rotate viewer is an it, so let me use the hand. So that's the magnifier. So now let's move on to our next level. So we also have so many tools in it. We have the search tool here. The search tool help you to search for whatever you want to search. That's the search tool. You type the name to locate whatsoever you are searching for. Good. Then we also have the color boxes and mode. The color boxes to change the foreground color, the upper and those stuff. So where's the color box? As I said, mostly you will not see it because when you use it in this format and your screen is very small, you find it difficult. So let me click on this arrow pointing at right side and see. So here's the color box. We have the background and the foreground. Here's the foreground color box and the background color box. So that's it. And we also have I talked about this yesterday in our last tutorial. So we said cropping and those stuff. So now we are just looking at the interface. Good. Let's assume now. Let's come to the tabs on the menu bar. Good. We have the file tab. When you click on it, you can go into it one after the other. You can use the file tab to create a new document, open document, browse in Bridge. Note the Bridge is one of the Adobe product. You can also install that and then try your hand on that and open as if you want to open something like open. So I can't mention it. So let us assume you've done with your work and you want to export it. So if you want to export it, you just use the export. Then you can go through that. You can generate image asset and share image and those stuff. Save as and those stuff. So let's move on to edit. The edit to have different items and it. So that's it. So normally I prefer using the triple mouse, the triple button mouse. That's the normal mouse, not the touchpad, because at times when you're designing and you use the touchpad, you find it difficult to zoom and do stuff. The scroll wheel, you can use the zoom out and zoom in, but yours, when you're trying for the first time, you won't get it. Why? Because there's a setting that you have to do. So you go to edit tab, then you locate preferences. You locate preferences. You will not see preferences immediately. You click on the edit tab, then you click on the arrow, then you choose preferences, then you go to general. The shortcut is there. When you go to general, a whole lot of things will pop up, editing that you can be done. So you can go through one after the other and then you start doing your settings. So you go to let's say two, then yours it will be unchecked because you've not what check it. So you just check, then you click OK. So now you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out. You get it. And the image, let us zoom. You've done working with an image, but or your design, but the size you are not okay about that. You can also use the image to change the size. So the image tab to change the size, and you can use to rotate, you can use to trim something, and it's like cropping. You can use to duplicate and those stuff. So you can use the image size to change it. Adjustment, you have the layer help you to what create layer max, vector max, a new layer in those stuff. Let us we want to create new layer, and you can use this one to create new layer, then it will be there. You see layer 2 is now here, or you can use the shortcut here. So we have the tab to allow you to do some settings and what things. So we have the panel and those stuff. We have the select allow you to what select things, filters. In normal mode is the same thing, it has not been changed and it's not going to be changed. The filter helps you to what use the 3D, you blur, you render, you bring in noise and distort your design and those stuff. And we have view 3D and the window helps you to what the window helps you to what the window tab helps you to customize your interface. So there's a few about the interface of the Adobe Photoshop. Note, I'm using the current version. Thank you for watching this video. When you start working, you get to know everything, and I promise you that I'm going to let you become an expert in designing when you follow me. The only thing is you stay connected, you stay calm. Good. I'll always do your preferred video for you. I'll always do that, and I'll take everything one after the other. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos so that you will get every video that is gonna drop. Thank you.